Well, good morning everybody from Tenerife. We're back here for day 2 of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. It's Group phase, Group B action. And as you can see by the Australian contingent in the crowd, Australia and Argentina will be the opening game action of day 2. Contrasting fortunes for both teams yesterday on day 1. Here's the schedule for day 2 in this group. Argentina opened it up against Australia, and then the nightcap game at 8:30 local time, Nigeria and Turkey. Crucial matchup in terms of qualification for the knockout stages of the 2018 Women's World Cup. Here are the standings in this group. Turkey had the big win over Argentina yesterday. Tough game for Australia. The result possibly doesn't do justice to Nigeria. Very, very competitive game. Saw Australia get the win. Well, it's always fascinating to see Australia in these world tournaments. Obviously, aspirations to go deep. 2006 gold medalists, looking to go deep into this competition against Argentina, a team with history, but in recent times falling short of the level set on their aspirations. The head-to-head between these two countries, 3-1 in favour of Australia. Argentina won the first ever game in 1957 World Championships, but since then Australia have been significantly winning 3 games by over 20+ points, and they're being introduced to the crowd. Gives me a chance to introduce Teresa Bradlova, who a former Czech international. It's always fascinating to see Australia. Australia have aspirations to win these things. This is our first chance to see them after their opening day win.
It is, and to be honest, there's been some changes within the teams as well, but it's nice to see Liz Kemba's being back and dominating that inside space of Australia, and I really look forward to see what they have to offer against Argentina today. The question is how much Ko is going to play Liz Kemba in today's game as well. And Argentina, yeah, they came to the tournament definitely to be part of it, to fight for every win, but it's going to be a very, very tough game for them today.
Well, Argentina had a tough first day, should we say, shooting under 20% from the field in the heavy loss to Turkey, but seeing the team before the game, there's a real desire to perform better today. No, it's almost one of those nothing-to-lose games against the heavily favoured Australian lineup. This Argentinian team came second in the American Cup last year. That's how they qualified to be here. Again, I want to put a performance on the floor that gives them some confidence going into a game to decide if they make the qualification spots on day 3. Coach Christian Santander at the helm again for Argentina, and we'll be back to talk more about the game after the national anthems of both countries, and we'll start, or should start, with the national anthem of Australia.
For listening the national anthem of Australia.
And now the national anthem of Argentina.
We listen now the national anthem of
photos at the halfway line. Always fascinating to see contenders in the early stages of these championships. There's Cambage in shot. Now we'll move on to the third team of this morning's game. Taki Kato, Yang Yu and Luis Castillo are the third team on the floor from Japan, Chinese Taipei and Spain. Their teamwork as important as the players. Going to get a look at the rosters in a moment, Teresa, and as we say, always interested to see a contender early on. One of the things that stood out yesterday, Cambage had 34 of their points. Is that going to be a problem or is that a plus?
That's a question I think the coach needs to ask now in today's game. Is he going to use Cambage dominating that inside space in today's game as well, or is he going to just keep her in the game to keep the rhythm but not overplay her? That's what it's about. The coach's strategy right now in today's game, but she's definitely going to dominate it in today's game because Argentina is not as tall team as Australian team, so definitely that's going to be a strength of Australia for today's game.
There's Cambage one game, 34 points, 12 rebounds. You can't argue with that at all. And here's the focus. It's how much support she's going to get. Not necessarily today, as you say, but it's how much support she's going to get as this tournament progresses. Jenna O'Hay injured yesterday with a calf strain, heavily strapped at the moment. Interesting to see if she takes any part of today's action. Here's the Argentinian roster, and some names that have been at a lot of world tournaments that Christian Santer has to call upon, but it's a tough ask.
It is definitely the big task for Argentina today, and I think for them it's even an honor to play Australia. You know, to get to experience it on your own skin in these big games. Generally, here is the lineup for it. They are they're short in size, so I think they need to really play physical again in defense. Try to avoid any easy passes on Cambage. Try to play her off the ball more to allow her to get easy into her position.
Macarena Osset, the featured player in today's game, had 12 points yesterday in a tough game against Turkey, where Argentinia's offense just stuttered, to say the least. But a number of these players play in very, very good leagues around Europe and obviously back home in Argentina. Obviously, they're going to go up against the lineup of players playing in both the Australian League and the WNBA, so it's, as we say, a tough ask, but this is World Cup basketball, so you've got to think that you would hope anyway that Christian Santander, over the course of the gap between yesterday's game and today, is going to have to put something on the floor that he believes gives his team a shot at being competitive in the game.
Absolutely, and it's also about what mentality they're going to step into this game, because playing this great team of Australia for the players is not easy. As you said, they have nothing to lose in this game, so there's no really reason for any fear or anything. They should enjoy being here and playing this big team.
Sandy Bondello, head coach, obviously well known around the world of sport, let alone the world of basketball. Great playing career, obviously such a successful coach in the WNBA and in the impact she'd had in Ekaterinburg in her time there. Christian Santander, experience, has been at the helm here for a number of championships. But there we go. Welcome back to Tenerife. Australia in the green uniform, Argentina in the white. Cambage gets an early touch in the post turnaround. Jump shot is good for two. You let her catch it and turn around and shoot it, she's going to score. You've got to play her harder than that.
And it's good to give her early touches as well. Straight away in the game, straight away she shows her dominance, which we will see throughout the whole game.
Elisa Gleda burst onto the international scene in the Olympic qualifying tournament in 2012. And by her own standards, we'll probably say she struggled. The tough shot from the corner is no good. And Argentina's offense struggled early on. The early long two is no good. Gleda in transition gives it up. Rosset will move it on. Gleda gets it. Will take the ball screen. A little hesitation. Gets it back. Fires the three from deep. Is off. Defensive rebound is hauled in. Carla George gets her first positive stat. Cambage will hand it off. George gets it deep, goes off the glass, hits nothing. Well, you can see where Melissa Greta's mindset was. She saw that down the floor, Santana had the baseline side, but Santana couldn't handle the bounce pass.
In today's game, it will be important as well how Argentina is going to manage their turnovers, because Australia is really effective to punish these arrows during the game. Oh.
Super move. Super move. She got behind the backboard, but Liz Cambage has got more than enough offensive options in her locker to come back the other side. Beautiful finish off the glass. And another turnover for Argentina. Not great signs, Teresa. Argentina, the first few times down the floor, they've never hit the second side. They've turned the ball over.
Yeah.
It's not a great start.
That's not a great start, and I would suggest that Argentina needs to play a little bit more structured offense, make the defensive players of Australia to move, especially Cambage, to get her out of the paint.
That's too deep a catch and the foul. Cambage got it deep. Sealed off right at the charge circle. He gets fouled, will go to the free throw line. Can't play behind the back. If you play, they at least force the lob. At least try to force Australia to make an extra pass.
Yeah, exactly. And these big players, if you're a smaller defender, you want to push her in her lower body, a little bit, get her out of the position, out of the balance. So it's not as easy for her to just catch the ball, turn, and hit the two.
Cambage shot 72% in the WNBA season to the line, goes 2 for 2. And an ominous 6-0 start for Australia. Argentina yet to find any offensive rhythm at all. Better ball movement. They hit the second side, find space, feet set for the three, but took forever to get it away. Short jump shot is long. And Cambage comes down with another positive stat. She leads the break. Stops and pops at the foul line for 2.
Wow, this is a one-woman show, let's say. She brings the ball all the way down. Just pull up jump shot, like that shows how much confidence she plays with.
More action this time, more picks away. Open three in rhythm is no good. Cambage comes up and leads the break again, gives it up. Carla George will just hand it off, turns the corner, Talbot gives it up. Talbot has it, looks inside. Come up short, chance to run here as Rosset has it, but doesn't commit to the break. Greta has it. Rosset puts it on the floor, tries to break it down the middle, puts up a speculative shot, should we say.
And against early break, I think Argentina needs to manage the clock time a little bit more, because if they're gonna finish every offense after like 2 seconds, they're giving like many more opportunities to Australia to beat them in this game.
Better defensive effort to get Brown. Deep chances in transition for Santana. Baseline by Rosset. Has to pop it out. Santana thinks about it. Leotard lines up the three, is off. And we're 4 minutes in and Australia have an 8-0 lead.
It's a great move from Coach Sandy Brondello to put the Australian team into zone defense, because they saw that Argentina struggled from the field to shoot yesterday, 18% during that game against Turkey.
Cambage needs a pass. Goes to the middle, turns around, gets fouled on the way through as she stepped through. And Santana's got to once Cambage has established that pivot foot, you can't let the free foot go past you. Poor defensive execution. Marchiotti picks up her second foul early, and that's going to generate movement from the Argentinian bench. There's Cambage on the free throw line again. Chance to put Australia into double figures. It's obviously difficult when you're playing against a player of the quality of Cambage, but there doesn't appear to be any attempt by Argentina to find out if any of the other Australian players are are in rhythm or anything. They're just playing a one-on-one. The early three is good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mark. There needs to be a little bit more physicality defensively against Australia, because right now Argentina just waits what Argentina gonna do offensively, and it's never too good, especially when you're playing a team like Australia. You need to really play them physical. We've just seen this. This was obviously a personal foul, but if you're gonna adjust the position a little bit to allow the Australian players to cut through the paint easy, or just play them without the ball, that's definitely gonna change a little bit the intensity of this game.
Well, Barani picks up the personal. Didn't really adjust. Hugging on the weak side. Tries to ride Cambage through the key. That's offensive. Good call by the official. Well, Cambage puts her palms up, but she put her hands on the defender and pushed off. So let's take a look. You'll see it here. There you go. Not exactly the strongest touch, and you would hope that Burani would have played a little tougher, but you can see why the official made the calls. Argentina in the half court. Gonzalez. Greta just about hangs on. 4 on the shot clock, got to go up. Just about gets it away before the 24 and hits nothing.
Yeah, that's quite unprepared offense. Again, when you have a Cambage under the rim like this, just play with the players who she is not involved in, and just try to combine a little bit for that maybe shot, penetrate, approach the defense, kick. I don't see enough action right now offensively in Argentina team.
Substitutions coming off the Australian bench. Greta for 2 is no good. She misses the layup. Jim comes down, gives it up. And Australia hit the second serve. Talbot has it, looks inside, ball goes out of bounds, turnover. Didn't really give Alana Smith the chance to establish position. She's cutting, and pass wasn't quite where it needed to be, hence the turnover.
And there's a 4th turnover of Australia against the team of Argentina, which is quite a big number early in this game. And again, it's a very static offense, just 2 players involved at one moment, and the rest of the 3 players just standing and watching. Make the defense move, create some action.
Well, Smith picks up the foul for the push. Yeah, absolutely right. They don't actually look to reverse the basketball. They don't look to make the defense shift.
What about a simple exchange like strong and weak side could definitely play in your favor offensively.
Well, he drops it to Greta, who should finish off the glass. It makes hard work of a 4-footer. And a chance for Argentina to tick it over. Pretty much goes begging. Cambage has it in the post. They don't look to double team. There's only going to be one result here. And she throws it off the glass.
It's almost like Argentina defense just looked at what Cambage's gonna do again offensively, and forgot their players to put them out.
Right. Better job on Cambage that time, a little physicality on it, but if the referee's not going to call it, and Burani just throws the push 3.
Yeah, and we can see that Andrea Beckett just telling her teammate, look, reverse the ball. There's no need to take this early shot after first pass in the offense.
Cambage will sit. See, Burani tries hard. She gets hit. There's a foul on the way up, because there's no way that Burani was straight up. Burani thinks, hey, I just played her. She made a bad shot. You guys, where are you? On the break, Australia get another 2.
It's been a great spacing from McBohr.
Begor with the 2, got out on the break really well. And Argentina on the wrong end of a 14-3 margin. Gonzalez comes up empty. Australia look long on the break, great pass. Talbot gets balanced, hits the underside of the ring, has to go up with a tougher shot and makes that one. And Argentina take the timeout. 3:03 to go in quarter 1, and they trail 16-3. And they just have struggled to get anything offensively, and then they start not to get back, and it's just, signs are not good for them. They take the timeout.
Yeah, I mean, we know Australia wants to punish these turnovers or missed shots with the quick breaks, and this last 2 minutes they've been running really effectively to the offensive half.
Well, 1 for 12 from Martina tells you everything you need to know about their offensive efficiency at the moment. And 0 for 6 on the inside. 6 for 11 from Australia. When they move the ball and find Cambage down low, it doesn't matter which team they're going to play in this competition. She's going to be effective. 13 to 3 on the class. So it's not hard to see how they have such an advantage when a team is shooting just 1 of 16.
Argentina was just in that yesterday's game against Turkey. They were really effective on offensive glass, and we don't see any intention in today's game to go for that rebound, go for that ball. It's almost like you're just playing the Australia team, you're waiting what they're gonna do offensively, defensively. Go and change something, go and risk a little bit in this game, because obviously they have nothing to lose as a team. So you want to challenge Australia a bit more of changing intensity, going for, you know, don't wait what this major team's gonna do.
Well, let's see if the timeout changed anything. Durso has it. It's into the half court. Perez will just get it back to the top. Gonzalez looks inside. No option, has to reverse it. Barani extends the floor, goes with the right hand, has it knocked away. Australia run, and they have numbers.
And again, there was intention to run a quick break.
Wow, pretty deep.
It's always nice to see a player who reads their defender. If you go under the screen, I'm gonna take that shot.
It's just no intensity. It's just poor. It's good decisions by Australia, yeah, but this defense has to try to ask a question, and at the moment it's absolutely asking no questions whatsoever. Australia in transition again. Whitcomb looks down low. The bigger gets it, goes baseline. Nice footwork, but can't get the two to drop. Got a little off balance in the time she shot the basketball. The crowd like it though. Nice headwear.
Absolutely. And Australian fans are ready. They're ready. They know they want to compete in here.
Well, the footwork was great, but just went with the wrong hand. Made the tough shot a lot tougher. 19 to 3. Australia with it with a 14-second reset. Just a little bit of hairdressing going on as Barani needs to sort her hair out. Here she is. Perfect. Sideline possession. Australia inbound. Abby will get it in. Whitcomb comes off. Quick release on the catch is long. And he gets the offensive rebound, and Australia have a new 14. Whitcomb goes high, gets the second side. Again, Bone baseline. Looks for a pass. Just lobs it in. Easy two.
You don't want to lose the vision of your player when you're defending, and now we've seen that Argentina defense just watch the ball and they completely forget their players behind their back.
Oh. Got a whistle. Rebecca's not. Oh, she's not particularly perturbed about it. Went after it, challenged the shot. That's what she has to do. That's clean.
Yeah, I think the foul was called on number 7, Matkin. But I think she was standing there quite a while before the player even penetrated.
No, Barani, though, good sign that she's being the aggressor, gets to the far side of the ring, and good things happen, but then you just have to make your free throws. Victoria Llorente checks in, plays here in Spain in Bembury. Barani makes a second, and she's going to sit, and she's going to be replaced by Mara Manchizotti. 21 to 4, with 1:20 to go in the first. All a little predictable at the moment. I'm just going to be disappointed that Argentina haven't come and shown anything defensively as an attempt to try and take Australia out of what they're running. Jen looks inside. Going to put it up. That's going to be a 24 violation. Alana Smith caught the basketball with just a second on the possession. Really didn't have the opportunity to make any type of move.
The player who's passing the ball needs to know what the shot clock is, because if there's 1 second left, You can't just be aiming to pass the ball. You need to really take the responsibility to take that shot.
That's 5 Australian turnovers. Coach Pondo's not going to be happy with the 5 turnovers. Meanwhile, Duraso, a lot of dribble, gets it back. Breaks it down the middle, reaching foul. Teslav is going to be called for the reach. Should be a sideline possession. 2 shots. Fair enough, she had picked the ball up.
That's been great recognition from Duraso. She saw that open space in the middle of the paint to penetrate. It's always better defensively to push the players to the sideline more than allow them to penetrate into the middle of the paint where they have more options to create.
Whitcomb picks up the foul. Duraso misses the first from the free throw line. That's the back court. Another Australian turnover.
That's the hustle you've spoken about in defense. You want to see that they play full court press. They changing to the zone press. You know, playing zone defense, man to man, just to at least challenge that Australian team.
Argentina, last minute of the first. They trail it 21-5. Llorente goes high.
And again, very static offense from Argentina.
Duraso finds Llorente, puts it on the floor, gets to the middle, takes the tough one. The lefty comes back to the left hand and made it a little bit easy defensively for Australia. Whitcomb goes high. Smith will look to hand off. Megan has it, trying to take the last shot off the quarter. Travel. And another Australian turnover. And in a really dominant first quarter, Australia's, I guess, the 7th turnover. And that's...
You definitely have to question that number because a team of the quality as Australia is, they shouldn't allow Argentina to challenge them to 7 turnovers.
So Elisa Grida comes back with 5 seconds. Can Argentina get it down and get it? They go back door with a little back cut. Grida has it, takes the fadeaway. 2 is off. And that'll do it for the end of the first. Dominant performance by Australia. They lead it 21-5. Kembe was dominant, as you'd expect. There's confirmation. Argentina on 16 after the first quarter. Going to get a look through at the highlights of that first quarter, and in some ways you've got to say, yeah, very dominant as predicted, but those turnovers must be a little worrying for Australia, as again, not for today, but for as this tournament develops.
Absolutely, because there's going to be teams who's going to challenge Australia way more than Argentina does so far in this game. And obviously turnovers is one of the key elements in the game, and they decide what the result's going to be, because if you're not going to take care of the ball, there are teams who's going to punish it by quick breaks, or they're going to get more offensive possessions. And you're absolutely right. I don't think Australia at this stage, and in this game particularly, should have 7 turnovers during the first quarter.
Well, Argentina will have the first possession of the second quarter. And Leia Borket will inbound the ball. It's a birthday tomorrow on the rest day. I'm sure she'll... maybe we'll get an invite to a party or something, Treasy. You never know.
You never know, but it's an unforgettable kind of moment to have your birthday at the World Cup, you know.
With your teammates at a tournament.
Indeed, indeed.
21-5. Argentina trying to find a way to get competitive. They go with a right-hand hook for Chori. Great work on the glass. as Rue went to work on the offensive balls, picks up one.
And this is
Rue.
Yeah, this is what we've seen in that yesterday's games against Turkey. That offensive, gonna go for the offensive rebounds intention, and I think really Argentina needs to get back to it. It's hard when Kembe is under the rim, but right now she's sitting on the bench, so they need to get back to what they've been good in yesterday's game. And
at the moment, they're going to get a lot of offensive rebound opportunities because they can't make a first shot for love nor money. So you've got to work. Every shot is almost a pass for you in terms of getting to the offensive glass. Offensive foul, never set the screen, just rolled the defense out of the way. It's all about timing. Rebecca picks up her first foul. And Macarena Rosset will get it into the half court. Little flare off the horn.
And hasn't been really spacing from Argentinian team right now to attack that Australia defense.
Rosset got the mismatch, recognized it really well, and got a little separation and knocked down the two.
You always have two options when you have a mismatch. Either play with the teammate who has a shorter defender, or play the big player, which she's just done greatly right now.
Bunting catches deep but gets blocked, goes baseline, needs a pass, wraps it inside out. Australia go back inside, Miguel goes baseline, little soft touch for two. Sweet little move.
And again, you wish to see that the defender contest that passing lane a little bit more. They don't just stay behind the offensive player and wait for the pass happen.
The air ball off the layup with no space to shoot it. Beggars down the floor, sets the early screen. Allen takes the open three, is good, sweet and quick. Catch and shoot was quick by Allen. Staggered screen for DeRusso to work with. Again, has a mismatch, goes against the bigger player, blows the layup though. Ball will belong to Australia. DeRusso makes a good decision, gets to the glass, and then just, the shot was not going to get blocked, just blew the layup.
Sometimes it's hard because you know you're playing against taller players, so you try to avoid that block, but in this case you need to just focus. Okay, if you get blocked, you get blocked, but definitely in this case, if she wouldn't worry about it that much, she would have just laid it up.
And we got an offensive foul away from the basketball as Marchesotti picks herself up.
And you see now Argentina, when they step up defensively and play a little bit more aggressively, they frustrate Australian players.
Again,
I don't see it as offensive.
One, I don't see it. Two, normally when you put the palm of your hand, as the Argentinian defender did, normally you should be charged with a personal, but the official had a different view than we did, and we had slow motion, so the three is gone. In rhythm, no good. Defensive rebound was pulled in, but then lost.
Oh, good hustle, good hustle.
Well, the referees finally blow the whistle. They were trying to let the players decide who had possession. Also looks at the official, and a fair amount of justification.
Absolutely, yes. There has been a bit of hugging out there as well.
But that probably, we often say, these things even themselves up, and that evens up the one before. And he gets Australia into the half, and Rebecca will hit the second side. Post entry, gets bunt in the basketball, puts it on the floor, gets to the middle, little step back for two is good.
It's always beautiful to see when a player knows where her defender is, and the step back is so effective, especially on the slower defender who's unable to react to that quick step back.
Santana checks back into her, so has it recovered from that sort of blow to the face. Australia, absolute dominance in terms of the way that their defense is challenging shots. Argentina shooting 1 from 10 from the paint.
I think it comes a lot to the first quarter when Argentina didn't choose a good selection of the shots. They were rushing their shot as well because they know they can't really penetrate against this Kepesh sitting down under the rim.
Substitution for Argentina. Fiorato checks in. Quick release on the out of bounds is no good, but the offensive rebound should have been secured by Fiorato. But Australia come down with it. Ball's pushed as Lavi gets Australia moving. Pick to the middle, Lavi gets the catch and shoot, is short. Vega does a great job just working to secure the rebound. Sometimes you forget she's still only 19 years old. Move to the inside by Bunton is good. Timeout Argentina. And Australia still going inside at will. And they lead it 30-7. 6:29 to go in the half.
In yesterday's game, Australia against Nigeria, they scored 52 points from inside of the paint. Out of those 86, and now we see this poor percentage of shooting of Argentinian team. 2 out of 20, 10% in this game. They just continue with that poor shooting performance from that last game against Turkey yesterday.
Australia getting contributions from across the roster, as you'd expect. A lot of the problems that they have, it's similar to any team that's facing an opponent that's considered to be superior. You're going to the hoop, and you're not going to the hoop with confidence, are you? You're not actually just focusing on where you want to put the basketball. You're worried about all the other things that could happen. And that's not helping you either, because you're going to miss a shot you would expect and should make. So
you gotta shoot with a purpose. You gotta shoot what you used to train, what you doing every day as a basketball player, and not just to see who is there, because that last touch before you throw the ball is very important to keep consistent.
Well, Australia showed a 2-3 zone again, and then they match up on the first pass. They show hard on the screen. The pick and pop is effective. Penetration drops it down to the short jump shot is no good. And that's bread and butter stuff. You're 12 feet from the hoop. You've got to make percentages from there. Pass to the inside. Again, poor shot. Fiorato gets a great feed on the inside. She has a wide open look, blows it from 2 feet. And Australia are in transition again. Early screen, they look to post. They lift on the weak side and we'll go handoff. Mid-range jump shot is short. Defensive rebound for Argentina. They give it up. Rosset in transition. Oquette puts it on the floor, attacks it, goes with a weak-looking layup and fouls after the miss.
Yeah, she has fouled. She wanted to stop that quick break again. She saw Australia is aiming to run.
There's no shot there, and not with a right hand anyway. But at the same time, she had no other option because no one moved on the perimeter for Argentina to kick it to.
And again, it comes to that 1-2 players are involved offensively for Argentina, and the rest are just watching and standing instead of attaching the defense to make them move.
Miss on the drive for Australia gives Argentina a chance to run. Durso wide open in transition is long with a 3. George brings it down. George gets it in transition, looks to hand it off. Zuri. Turnaround jump shot, Bunton is off. Rosset gets to the middle, gets the whistle, and will get the chance to shoot 2.
And again, it's a penetration to the middle for Australia. When they're gonna allow these against better teams than Argentina, it's gonna hurt them in the games.
Cambage gonna check back in. Max Bunton did a nice job, and it's going to be so important for Australia to get rotation on the inside, whether they go with 2 bigs, whether they go with a more quicker line up to stretch the floor, but they've got to get support and contributions across that bench for later in this tournament. Cambage wants it down low, they dribble at her instead. She has to pop, they take the tough baseline jump shot, it's no good. Good job on the glass by Carla George. Kicks it for the open three, is no good. Defensive rebound hauled in by Llorente. Llorente in the lane, extra pass. George gets out and closes out and contains the dribble, and they get the travel.
That's been great defense from George, because she closed that middle now. She allowed that middle penetration, so that's why it's a possession for Australia right now.
Well, Llorente in picture there, as you get the replay. Almost ruined the whole thing by the reach, but good close out, good containment. 4 to go in the half.
As you mentioned earlier, Mark, like, it's important for Australia to have a rotation to use all players, especially in this game. When we've spoken about how many minutes Cambage is going to spend on the court, it's also important how many players are able to pass her the ball when she needs it. Obviously now she showed that, okay, you're not going to pass me to my position, I'm going to take charge and I'm going to create for myself. So it's an incredible performance, an incredible player.
Greta has it, comes off the screen. Doesn't attack the space, almost throws it away. And Llorente does it for her. Australia in transition. Or not, as the case may be. They've slowed this up. Carla George with the three is long. Effort to get back on the glass. We've got a whistle on the play. Wickham's going to get the positive stat of drawing the foul. Here's the replay of Cambage's little one-legged step back. Sweet touch.
You can see now Australian team getting together and talk about their strategy offensively. I'm pretty sure they mentioned something. They need to use the Cambage a bit more down in the low block again.
Cambage has it. Faces up, looks to hand it off. George with only 5. They go lob. Cambage can't hold that one.
That comes to deliver a great pass for her where she needs it. Yeah, she's able to catch a lot, but you still want to give her a better pass.
Sagrita goes to Burani, who finds Macarena Lassette, who has no option. Now they change the angle. Inside touch Burani, just about hangs on. Going baseline, needs a pass. The top two is no good, and the offensive rebound by Llorente. Llorente is one of those players that almost sums up Argentina's status at the moment. Since she's only 22, but she's been in Europe for 2, 3, 4 seasons. Has so much potential, just not really fulfilling that potential. 1 meter 80 forward, good athlete, can run the floor, but she's still coming up short of the potential she has on the free throw line. Bembari in Spain is where she's playing. Goes 1 for 2. Cambage comes down with another positive stat. And Australia get into transition. Carla George outside. Cambage gets it at the high post.
Don't use your hands while she receives the ball. Come on, try to use your lower body to get her out of the way.
32 to 10. 2:30 to go in the half. Cambage is open down low. Gives them, puts it on the floor. Wouldn't mind seeing that again. Let's have a look. Burani's in stance, contacts on the torso.
It's a tough call, but there's been a little personal battle between these two players. If you've seen earlier in this offense, like, no need to really fight. Just find a way how to really play defense on your feet.
Turnover by Cambage as she tried to make the pretty bounce pass.
Yeah, 11th turnover of the Australian team in this game.
Greta comes off the high screen, backs out, looks to reverse the basketball. They hit the second side. Lorente on the dribble. Little hesitation in the lane, floats it off the glass. And the decision wasn't bad, just couldn't complete the play. Inside, Carla George lines up, thinks about the three, turns it down. Whitcomb drives off the glass for two, is good.
She recognized that Cambage has stayed on the three-point line, so there's been really driving like all the way to the basket, no defense to help on her.
Mid-range two is good.
That's the third one scored out of 27 from the field shots. That's 11% of shooting for Argentina in this game so far.
Marchesardi gets the two though. Cambage gets it deep and blows the 6-footer, and Greta has a chance to run. Everybody's on the floor.
And now we see that great lead from Greta.
Wide open. Loretti's got to shoot that. She does, and it's long. Nice lead pass, and one.
Beautiful. And again, we see it. We've already seen it in previous games that the tallest player on the court is the first in the break, and it's such a pleasure to play with the bigs like this who wants to run, and you really got to reward them with that ball.
It's Cambage. Completes the three-point play. It's one of those players. It's just a privilege to watch great players play, and that's what's her status right now. She's got to guard Melissa Guida. She should really just play with some separation and work a shot she wants. Lorente tries to get to the far side of the ring. Tough little move. Draws some contact. She can go to the free throw line. And that's the sort of athleticism that Yolente has. There's the foul. Just continue to ride her across the lane.
There's been already two stations, two possessions when Rita had Cambage on herself. And that just shows that she is experienced point guard, because she showed the intention to play her on 1-1. Obviously, the first possession, there's been help coming, so she opened up her teammate. That's a great recognition from the point guard of Argentina.
Lorente, who just airballed it from the free throw line. Gets the second one to drop.
Pressure right now.
Jen deals with the pressure, finds Cambage. Jen puts it on the floor, going baseline. Now she needs a pass. Extra pass is good to Carla George for the three, and knocks it down.
That was a shot in the rhythm. Really great ball movement from Australia to find an open player on the three.
Well, they sunk to the baseline, made the extra pass, little pick and roll action. Lorente just about saves it. And that's going to be an Australian basketball, as, let's just say, Dursey made a wrong decision, because her teammate Deborah Gonzalez was just completely, well, naked, should we say, on the perimeter, absolutely wide open, and she put it on the floor and tried to go over Liz Cambage, and that's not the best decision you've seen in this half of basketball. Last 12 seconds of a first half that Australia have dominated. Whitcomb gets her feet set for three, is long. And Australia try it, but that'll do it. 0.6 of a second before the half. They'll get it in, and the buzzer will go, and you can all go and get a drink.
Yeah, they're not going to attack now.
Well, that'll do it for the first half. And it's, unfortunately, if you're an Argentinian fan, a very, very predictable first half, because Australia from minute one dominated Argentina. They lead it 40-13 at the half. Good contributions across the roster for Australia. Here's statistics, keeping Argentina to 11% from the 2 and the 3, while 52 and 38. Rebounds is, well, let's just say it's a horror show for Argentina. 11 assists for Australia. The only downside is that number, 11 turnovers for Australia. That's something they're going to not be happy with. But apart from that, it's a half a basketball that they will be relatively comfortable with. So we're going to show you some highlights of that first half. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in around 10 minutes or so for the second half to see if Argentina can find a way to build some positive into a performance against a very, very talented Australian lineup. We'll see you in around 10 minutes. come back to Santa Cruz in Tenerife. The Australians back out on the floor. The Argentinians spending a fair amount of time in the locker room. They've probably got a lot to talk about. So the first half where they were just dominated by the Australian lineup. You can see from these highlights, this Cambage, that was the first play of the game. Deep catch, simple turnaround. And she has 15 points on 5 from 7. And there's that little baseline move where she gets to the far side of the ring, just kisses the glass. It's tough to stop. I suppose the question, Teresa, is when it gets to the sharp end of this competition, Liz Cambage will have her 20, she'll have her 25. Is she going to make people around her better? Is she going to create space for her teammates, and are her teammates going to be able to step up and take it? There were some good performances from other Australian players in that first half. So, what do you think?
It's quite a tough question, I think, because it will depend who they will play. Obviously, Cambage is quite isolated within the Australian team down in the middle, and it gets me to the point, are the Australian players able to pass her the ball where she needs under the pressure which other teams can put on the guards of Australia? That's one point. Second point, is Cambage going to deal with her personal fouls as well? Because we can obviously see if she's not going to be on the court, the Australian team could struggle against the stronger teams, especially down under the rim. So there are some different kind of stories that could happen. But as you mentioned, as a player, you want to make your teammates better as well. Or you might well be simply strong finisher, as Cambage, I think, is right now showing off, because she doesn't really look too much to kick the ball out or pass. But, you know, we can't really be surprised, because in this Argentinian team, there's no one really contesting her, no one's really challenging her. So it will be only simply up to Coach Rondello how much minutes she's going to give her to play in this game, and how long she's going to keep her in rhythm with the team for the further stages of this tournament.
The thing about minutes, I think the structure of this competition now relatively short from start to finish. They play 2 days, day off. I mean, I think Cambage and most of the stars of these teams are going to be able to deal with the physical side of this. And I think it's more the good thing for me for Australia in that first half is that with Beck Allen, with Ezi Mabigo, and Ax Munson had a nice first half. They're the players that are going to have to contribute and share the load on with Liz Cambage, and if they can do that and their backcourt is solid, I think it's going to be really important to see how much time Jenna O'Hagan can play with that calf strain. After today, she has another day of potential recovery. If they win the group, she also gets another day where they don't play, so it's going to be important from that perspective. So they're not in a bad pace. If you're Argentina, you get out of this game, then you're going to have a game tomorrow where a win will after the rest day, a win will potentially get you into the playoffs or the quarterfinals. So they've got to find a positive way of getting out of this game, and a turnover on the baseline pass is not the way to do it, as they started with the possession at the start of this third quarter. Poor pass, poor turnover, and doesn't bode well for the rest of the game.
Yeah, the beginning of the third quarter always shows how focused you're stepping into that second half, and starting with the turnover is definitely not a good sign.
Cambage with a lob for the easy 2. No one on the bottom of the eye. And Sagrina will bring it into the half court. Takes a little pressure at the halfway line. Go on baseline. Now she's going to need a pass. Skips it. Rooney knocks down the 3 from deep. Faustina Barani with her feet set, has a nice stroke, nice find by Greta. Passive defensive start by Australia. Cambage has it, just up off the elbow. Just lines it up, knocks it down.
Just playing a great game again, shooting 78%. Whatever she decides to do, she's successful in today's game.
Well, but again, they let her stand there, and she's too good to allow her to have that much time, space.
Yep. Indeed, play her off the ball, challenge her, and it might give you a big chance.
Allen in transition, has a look at options, backs it out. Cambage will look to reverse it. They hit the second side, pick back to the middle, she pops. Or hand off. Ziri, little fumble, gets to the Cambage, takes the foul line, jump shot is short. And Barani gets the defensive rebound, and
I like Cambage way more down under the rim when she's rolling more than popping. I know there's been re-screens, but the screens hasn't been set it as it's supposed to because the defense has stayed on their players. There wasn't any creation of the mismatches.
Extra pass for the open three is good. Macarena a lot set off the extra pass, gets the three. Again, another passive defensive series by Australia.
In games like this, you want to test your defense. You want to kind of know what your team is capable of, and seriously, the intensity, the heart is not there right now. They're allowing Argentina now to penetrate through, to cut, see this easy backdoor kick, open shot again.
Well kept for three is good. And Australia play no defense at the start of the third quarter. Coach Brondello wants to talk it over.
I'm pretty sure Coach Brondello is not happy with this intensity defensively from her teammates, from her players.
So Australia take the timeout.
Again, Australia keep the Argentinian team down to 16 and a half, and so far they scored 9 points in this quarter, which is almost the most that they scored so far in the first half. So crazy numbers again, and definitely Coach Brondello has something to talk about. Still poor shooting performance for Argentina, even though they hit a couple shots at the beginning of this third. But to be honest, you play what the team allows you to play, and Australia allows now Argentina to take these open shots.
Well, fair amount of intensity from Coach Brondello during the timeout. Baseline penetration for Boquet for three. It's time and space. They didn't have time and space at all in the first half. That would have been closed out much more aggressively in the first half. So interesting to see what reaction we get from Australia after the timeout. Maziri brings it up into the half court. Talbot outside, looks at options. Breaks to the middle. Carla George. Well, I think everyone in the gym thought she was going to shoot it. This Cambage definitely thought she was. Britta in transition. Well, that's a poor pass to the inside. Took forever to get there and made life very, very difficult for Matrozotti. George hits the second side. Talbot breaks to the middle. Cambage out top, puts it on the floor, and is, I wouldn't say is tripped, but she went over the leg of Matrozotti. So it's a foul. It's obviously a foul. There you go.
There is a contact in there, so it's quite easy call for refs.
Definite foul as Matrozotti picks up foul number 3.
Yeah.
And again, we saw earlier on in this game, you get rewarded for staying in stance. Matrozotti got out of stance, therefore it's going to be a foul.
Yeah, and I was quite surprised that Cambage was able to beat her that one-on-one penetration, because just move your feet a little bit quicker and you have to be able to stop her or go in her way.
The back of the ring on the second throw. Greta gives it up. Rosset to the far side of the ring. Wow, picked up by Barani, who gets the 2. Outwork your opponent and good things happen. Barani goes to 6 personal. Allen needs a pass, goes to Cambage on the back cut. What a great pass, 2 a nice cut. And they get the and 1. And then just the defense gets frozen by the way that Allen looked and squared and just froze it with the look. There's the replay of Barani outworking everybody else.
And that's that little extra hustle from Barani to come for the offensive rebound again, and it worked. You say outwork your opponent and you're gonna get rewarded. And back to Cambage and this offensive possession of Australia. I don't see any help side defense from Argentinian team. We know that Camber's gonna receive that ball in there, and if your teammate is fronting her, you need to be covering that lob over the defender.
Little zone trap shown by Australia, playing a little soft. Argentina make very hard work of getting over the halfway line. Down to 10 on the possession.
To be honest, when coaches sees that their team is missing that intensity, to put the pressure and to put the zone press is quite a great decision to wake up your team.
Keck can't get it to drop from the three-point line. Greta puts it on the floor. Doesn't really attack space. Gets it back. Got to put it up. 3 on the possession. Just about scrapes the paint on the front of the ring. Zeri. Carla George with the 3 is long. Defensive rebound, and the game has lost its rhythm. And Marissa Greta has it. Poor pass. Greta puts it on the floor. Nowhere to go. Has to find Barani from the three-point line. That's off. And there's a whistle on the play.
Again holding there, but I don't know if you noticed this. Again, no one's really boxing out the Argentinian players. They almost got the offensive rebound again if the foul hasn't been called. There's number 9, see, Fiorotto, wide open for the rebound. You gotta keep the focus. Australian team, they want to bring the good feeling to the next game of this tournament.
Smith comes off the down screen, reverses the basketball. Whitcomb with a quick release for 3.
That's a big catch and shoot. It's just excellent to see. And it takes skills, to be honest, to come from a full speed and just stop it in the right time and get the balance shot.
Rosette will penetrate, tries to wrap it around, extra inside outside. Greta just has to find a way to score. She's 0 for at the moment, and good job by Barani again, who outworks her opponent but doesn't get the drop on the putback. Whitcomb will bring it for Australia. We'll give it up to Talbot. Whitcomb goes inside. Cambage goes to the baseline, left hand off the glass.
And again, no help from the weak side. Not even look from the weak side to go and help your teammate.
Barani gets to the far side of the ring. Can't get the drop. Mid-range, thinks about it, goes at Cambage again, needs a pass. Someone please move for her is the statement. Bourquet penetrates. Greta on the baseline, got to put it up, get it away just before the buzzer. And Australia a chance to run. Madgen has it. Smith is fouled as he tried to work to the middle. Alana Smith. Currently in the NCAA with Stanford. Just to work with the right hand, gets deep. There's the contact, a little reach. And Smith will go to the free throw line. Fiorotto picks up her first foul, 3:45 to go in 3. Cambage will sit. Greta fills the trap, gives it up. Three on the ball reversal is short. Brigger brings down the defense rebound, chance to run. They've got numbers down the floor, they give it up. On the trowel, off the glass, you gotta love it. You gotta love the trowel, you gotta love the timing. And when they want to run, they look very, very effective. Defensive rebounds pulled in by Madgen, and as she pushes, all of a sudden, a little injection in pace by Australia. got to see it again. It does frustrate me sometimes. I don't know how much of a foul Mabega actually had here. Get a replay of the beautiful trowel.
And great finish, and that's the difference between these two teams. They do focus on that layup on the final stage of your shoot. You come with the purpose, you want to score.
Burani sits, good contribution in this third quarter by Burani. 32-point margin, 3:02 to go. Greta has to tidy up her vest, shall we say. They go long. Greedy comes back for it. Turns down the ball screen, moves the ball on. Foul line jump shot is off. And Australia again, and they run. Big commitment to the break this time. Transition is like a different level at the minute. The shot is short. And Argentina cannot retain the possession. Whitcomb took the early three.
That's been great recovery from Argentina because obviously Australia is trying to run and break every time. Argentina missed the shot or turned the ball over.
Whitcomb will screen and pop. Here she comes. Takes the ball screen. And we got a foul as the help was late. Bega's injected pace since she's joined the game. Offset's going to sit and do so. Greta's going to sit too. Deborah Gonzalez will step back in. Melissa Greta sits. There was such great expectations of Melissa Greta when she stepped into the senior team. And like a number of these Argentinian players, they haven't quite delivered on that potential. Three-quarter court pressure by Australia. Argentina find no problems in beating that. Now they're in the half court.
It's been great flash into the middle of the zone.
Baseline jump shot is poor and is short. Again, puts it on the floor, going baseline, looking for options, comes out the other side, needs a pass.
Oh.
And one.
That's just nice to see that timing of the cut behind the back of the defense. That was an excellent move by Smith.
Well, it's again the point you've made on a number of occasions. On that time, it was Andalea Borquet just stood up, didn't follow the cut, didn't stay in stance. Smith makes the nice little back cut, but Argentina giving up a high percentage shot when just by staying in stance and being active, they should have been fine. Smith on the free throw line, makes the extra. Inside 2 minutes to go in the third. Baseline penetration. They look for the pass inside, outside. They line up. They turn it down from the three-point line.
Right.
Nice ball movement. Better scramble by Australia, and they chase it down and get the rebound. Chance to run. Go beyond the defense. Nice crossover to the hoop. It's a foul as Whitcomb draws contact, picks herself up off the floor, and will go to the free throw line. Perez.
And she again recognized there's no help side defense, no one on the split line. So yeah, that's the best decision to do. It's to penetrate and attack that space. Back to Argentinian offense, I have to mention the improvement of the spacing and movement in Argentinian offense, but it's just that shots missing in there. They're shooting so far 15% in this game, only 7 field goals. That's just such poor performance offensively in terms of shooting.
Apart from that spell though, Australia's defense, that little flat period, apart from that, they did a nice job at chasing down and scrambling against that ball movement. So at least they're challenging shots now and forcing some of those misses. They fill the trap. The trap's even much more aggressive. And Argentina can't survive the pressure on that occasion. Turnover. Australia rewarded for the defense. 1:13 to go in the third. This quicker, smaller lineup for Australia, getting it done at the defensive end.
And also that forward pressing just woke them up, the intensity within them. So I'm pleased to see that Australia plays now with a better tempo.
Smith out top, will move it on. Whitcomb, who doesn't need a second invitation. Quick release on the three, can't get it to drop, but great hustle. Then she's earned the chance to shoot it and make it. Get rewarded for the hard work, the hustle. Keeps it alive, spots up, recognized, found her in the corner, and she just knocked it down. 66 to 40 to 24. Last 30 seconds of the third. Lorente moves it on. Open for three from the corner is short, should we say. Chance to run here. Numbers don't add up, so Mac just says no, we'll pull it out. We're going to take the one shot. There's about a 3-second differential between possession and game clock.
Shows you how much in control they are in this game. She didn't rush that, she didn't use that mismatch and playing the
She penetrates, pops, and knocks it down for two. And that'll be the end of the scoring in this third quarter. The halfway line shot only worries the cameraman. And that's a great finish to the third quarter by Australia. Tempo was picked up, intensity rose. They opened it out to a 68 to 24 advantage at the end of three. It's going to be a tough fourth quarter for Argentina. But Australia completely in control. Stats, 10% 21 against the 59 and 38. That tells you why it's 68-24. That's not hard to work out. The only negative for Australia in that first half was their turnovers, and they've improved that part of the performance. But after a bright start to the third quarter, Argentina just reverted and started to be a little slow, a little sloppy. And Melissa Greta, as probably now their more experienced point guard, has just got to be so much more specifics, just play so much more definitely at a higher level. She's just got to raise her game to fulfill the potential she had as a junior.
Yes, indeed, but you know, you need the teammates to help you as well in the game. She's trying to, we can see that she's penetrating offensively. She's just waiting for her teammates to cut the worst to the ball or weak side. She's expecting some movement from her teammates, which I have to give a credit to Argentina. They improved it in this third quarter. It's just the shot they're missing. They're missing the purpose with their finishes. But other than that, yeah, absolutely agree. Greta is definitely the best kind of player of this team. She averaged 13.2 points last year in Women's America Cup in Argentina. She was leading the team to come to this World Cup.
Well, there's just got a shot there with the Belgian team.
Yeah, we could see earlier already Masman sitting in the stands as well. They are obviously scouting.
While they play next.
Yeah, exactly.
Australia will have it at the start of the fourth. They lead it 68 to 24. And Teslavi gets it into the half court. Allen off the down screen, catch and release is no good. Lorente comes down with a defensive rebound. And Duraso will get it into the half court. Gonzalez comes off the down screen, turns the corner on the screen, finds a little space, but doesn't look to shoot it. Lorente just not looking to do anything but score at the minute. No hard cut, poor pass, turnover, chance to run, and Lavi has it. And Australia have numbers, but they blow the layup. One of those, you just got to finish the play. I think this is going to go back to Australia, even though it comes off Alana Smith. Australia on the end line. Bunton will get it out of the corner. Alana Smith has it, goes inside, turnover. chance to run here. Gonzalez has it. Gonzalez, in previous tournaments, has been one of the more effective guards for Argentina. Open the floor, should be the command from Santander, but foul drawn, and Whitcomb, unnecessarily probably, behind the backboard, gets a little too much contact, picks up her third personal.
You need to read the floor, because if you're not sure where the player is, just look down, because as a basketball player you know exactly the lining of the floor, so you know she's behind the backboard. There's no way she could have done anything else than just pass. No need to foul in these situations.
End line possession, Argentina will have to open it. Oh, a step back for three is good. And Gonzalez shows you exactly why she's been one of the leading guards for Argentina in international competition. Drains the three. Whitcomb gets to the middle, is fouled, and will go to the free throw line. Gonzalez, this was bad angle on the recovery, comes from that side. Whitcomb just goes straight down the middle.
Yeah, Whitcomb read it really well, that bad angle, and attacked that middle of the court. Drawn foul. Great recognition. And it's such nice to have a guard who can really shoot the ball and also penetrate and be dangerous. So the defense doesn't really know. They need to adjust. They're either going to cover the shot and then risk it on that penetration, which there should be help from the weak side to come for that.
Whitcomb makes a second. So comes off the high screen, they flare it. Gonzalez puts it on the floor, goes to the baseline now. She is bumped again.
That's a shame, because she was really guarding her player in a low block as well, fronting her, and then she just collapsed on the player with the ball and foul her.
Gonzalez has it on the baseline, needs a pass. Just about beats the 5 count. Llorente with a tough fade away. Doesn't get the roll, and Australia in transition again. But he gets the early screen. Bunton will hand off. They're all on the different page that time. Whitcomb just says, we're on the different page, I'll take the three. Doesn't get the roll, and Argentina have a chance to look in transition, but Australia's transition defense is what he expected to be good. Gonzalez for three is off. Defensive rebound is Allen's. Navi comes off the screen, takes a look, doesn't see an option, but Whitcomb does. Smith with a decent finish. The feed from Whitcomb on the change of angle was sweet. Smart, sharp pass, gave Allen every opportunity to get the easy two. Duraso with a three early, doesn't get the drop.
Hope it gets back to beginning of the game when Argentina was taking those early shots. I know they're open, but the percentage is such poor. That's a moment of Smith right now. A lot of quick points for this young player.
Second trial has been effective for most teams in this competition. It's been Smith the latest beneficiary. Sideline pick and roll. Whistle on the play. And for all the intensity and their pressure, Australia picking up fouls in this fourth quarter. That'll be the third team foul.
Yeah, and here we can see it's another baseline penetration when Australia defensively struggle to cover it. So you either need to be slightly quicker on your feet to stop that penetration, or just don't foul. Just wait for the extra pass of the player, and that's what you need to chase.
Burani's back in. She hands it off. Duraso thinks about the three, but goes into a lot of traffic. Nice pass. The short two is good.
Yeah, Allen forgot to drop right now into the middle of the paint to cover this easy pass.
Perez gets the two. Whitcomb off the screen, takes a look at options, backs it out. Doesn't like what she sees. They look high-low. They go above the defense on the inside. Bunton with the footwork for two. Just got herself balanced. Make the little reverse layup. Goes to 6 points personal. Rossett drops it inside to Burani. Inside, outside. Rossett for three is good.
Oh. that's the difference between the earlier selections of the shot they missing, or just prepare for it, be balanced on your shot. Oh.
Allen with a strong move. Drive lane just open straight up.
I'm just so disappointed not seeing any weak side defense from Argentinian team, because we know what Australia does. They do penetrate, or they do lob the defender. There must be someone on the split line.
Nice pass for the easy two. Timing was better. Santana picks up the two. Australia take the timeout and still lead it with 5:42 to go in the fourth by 78-34. The margin doesn't get any better. There is good signs for Argentina, not so much for today, but for Tuesday's final group game. But Coach Bondello wants to talk it over. Well, percentage-wise, doesn't get much better at all for Argentina. Still down at 20%. Australia at 54%. And it's almost beyond the actual stats now. It's actual performance that Coach Bondello will be looking at. She knows the team can score against Argentina. It's what she wants to see. 23 assists, which is always a nice number.
She definitely doesn't want to see 14 turnovers against Argentina. But as you said, Mark, Coach Bondello is taking this game now to see if the players are able to follow the instructions, to play what she wants. Like, obviously, they are able to score against Argentina, but that's the execution of the play what Coach Bondello is looking for in this game.
Well, Samantha Whitcomb has clearly demonstrated in this game what we all knew anyway, that she's a quality player. 16 points, 4 rebounds, and the 5 assists. She's got that quick release on the 3, and obviously as a member of the #1 team in the WNBA at Seattle, it's no surprise to anybody that she can put up those types of numbers. Mbega has the outside, looks down low. Allen, who's in the keyway, is going to have to pull something up.
That was a great trap from Argentina. Down in the corner, short corner. You can't pick up the dribble if you don't know what to do. Great defense from Bucket.
Oh, it's Allen nowhere to go. Didn't make a decision. Bucket with a 3 is short. Well, if you base your game on rebounding, at the moment you're quite happy to play Argentina. You have lots of opportunities to rebound. Bunsen has it in the block. Baseline drop step, takes the 1-footer to step and get the step away going. Doesn't get it to drop. Argentina will push. Rani, second trail again is blocked. Not just blocked, she had it just taken away by Bunsen. Numbers down the floor for Australia. Open for 3 on the end of the break is short, but they're all over the glass. Allen for 2, can't get it to drop. And they're going to have a held ball. Possession arrow favors Argentina.
That's very soft penetration from Rani. Tapping that rim with no aggressivity, no trying to get into contact with your defender.
Argentina will take the timeout. They need to finish this game positively. Day off tomorrow to prepare for a decisive game to see if they can actually get into the quarterfinal playoffs. They will play Nigeria on Tuesday. That's going to be a tough ask. With a place at the quarterfinals at stake. Sometimes I worry about fast break points in terms of stats, because Australia have scored a lot of points in transition. It's where you draw that line between fast break and the half court. Only 8 points on the stats with fast break points. And they have scored a lot of early baskets coming out of the break.
That's true. I even think that Australia should have scored more than these points from the fast breaks because there has been some errors, some missed shots as well. So against the teams as Argentina, I would expect that number to be a bit higher, but still great effort from Australia to run those quick breaks. That's basically they punishing any missed shot or any turnover from Argentina and trying to run those breaks.
So 4:30 to go in the game. Barani had the baseline wide open, comes back to take the tough turnaround, but gets the two.
He's playing with better confidence the second half. Absolutely. Already scored 8 points.
Bunton releases out of the screen to reverse the basketball. Hand in the lane. It's one of the few times they've contested the post entry. Trial for Barani again down the middle and draws contact, which I might be on the side of Alex Bunton. Might have to see it again. Here's the penetration. Yeah, it looked like there was going to be a lot of contact, but in the end, I'm not really sure how much contact there really was. But probably official gets that one right. I've had 3 looks at it, so you can't challenge him if he saw it once.
For sure, there's been a bit more aggressivity from Barani into that penetration compared to the possession before. And she has got blocked from Bunton.
Argentina keep it alive, but the ball is recovered by Ziri. She has it in the half court. Abiga will hand it off and dive, doesn't get a look. Now she wants a look, gets it on the baseline side, to the far side of the ring. Hooks it back with the left hand for 2.
I come back to my point, no help side defense. Again, it's just so easy for Australia to penetrate or attack that low block because there's no help.
He has it, slows it, almost turns it over. Does really well to control herself and be aware of the halfway line. Meshden has to take the tough one at the bottom of the shot clock. Argentina will look to run, but then will slow down again. They take the early 3, knock it down. Rosset goes to 13 points personal on 3 from 5 from the 3-point line. Backing up yesterday's good performance with another good one today. Becker takes the mid-range jump shot and knocks it down. Rocket looks down to the baseline side. Barani puts it on the floor, goes back to the baseline and takes a real tough one. Ends up sitting down on the bench almost after she released it. Little runner off the glass is no good. Little firm, had a little bit too much on it.
Oh.
It helps your offensive rebound stats as Ziri picked up her own miss. That doesn't look good at all. The way that she went down there and her reaction right now. Oh, yeah, through the knee, through no fault at all of Tess Majden. Well, she's walking, which is the good sign.
Yeah, that's definitely a good sign, but you don't want to come out of the tournament injured because the seasons are just about to start. Hopefully she'll be all right.
Hopefully that's just a hyperextension, but Antanas behind the bench obviously won't play again today. Last 2 minutes as Australia lead at 84-39. Rosset penetrates, ball is knocked out of bounds. Argentina will control on the baseline.
That has been a tough pass over the hands of Australian defenders. It's a great look though, to draw 3 defenders. Just to execute the pass to their open teammate.
now, 1:59 to go in the game. Coach Santander, you would hope, not going to get taken off the out of bounds. We're going to try and finish the game on a positive note. 5 from 24 from in the paint, and I don't think we can put that down to the way that shots have been challenged. It's just been Argentina missing a large chunk of easy looks.
Well, we know Australia's definitely strength is its points from the paint. And we have to say that Alice Kempe didn't play as many minutes in this game. She only played 17. So credit to the other players, they're still attacking that inside space.
Yeah, weight while the actual foot was still, and weight went against the knee in that replay. So that can often be a real problem. Let's hope it's not. Llorente was the open player. Rosset gets it down into Llorente on the inside, who is going to go up off the glass and goes up too hard, but gets her own rebound, then's blocked, but stays with the play. Takes the tough turnaround for 2.
That's a great hustle. Got 3 offensive rebounds, still score.
And that's the frustration with her. She has real ability. And in the same way that Vanessa Greta has got the potential and has had the potential, a number of Argentinian players have got to find a way to fulfill that if this team is going to get to the next level. Mid-range jump shot is good, and Llorente goes back-to-back points.
Bucket has read that defense and showed the spectators a bit of the enjoyment, the joy of the game.
Bigger will reverse it. Smashing gives it up. And we go inside is fouled as she was passing off.
I must ask a question, why Argentina fouling in this situation? Because the player's obviously off the balance. She's already looking for pass, so you don't really need to foul her out there. You want to more anticipate and go for that pass and steal it instead of throw a foul.
End line possession, Australia. Nabiga will move it on. They'll come back to the ball. Baseline penetration off the glass, doesn't get the drop. Ziri couldn't finish the play, but Australia will retain possession. 14-second reset. Oh, great step, but can't finish the play. Nabiga did everything apart from finishing it. Argentina a chance to run. Well, another turnover.
If you're passing on your big player, you don't want to give them the ball below their knees. You want to pass it up so she can just catch and shoot.
Smith will ensure the ball gets to the second side. If he comes back, she lobs. That ball's out of bounds. Another Australian turnover. And Argentina should get the last shot of the game. It's been a tough 2 games. For Argentina. Lot to reflect on in the day off they get tomorrow. Move to the inside is no good for Marchesotti, and that'll be it for the first game of the day on day 2 of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. The Australian fans, it's a job done day. They go to 2-0 in the group. Argentina will be back the day after tomorrow. Try and get a win that may see them into the quarterfinals, quarterfinal playoffs anyway. And there's confirmation, Australia with an 84-43 advantage. Increase the head-to-head to a 4-1 in favor of them. Statistically, again, Argentina 28% from 3, outdo themselves in terms of their percentages from the 2-point range. I think from an Australian perspective, they just did what they had to do to get the win. 25 assists is always a good number. The rebound numbers you just don't want to look at if you're Argentina. 15 offensive rebounds, 44 defensive for Australia. The negative is the 17 turnovers, and that's 17 turnovers against Argentina. And that's a worry for Coach Mondello as they prepare for the knockout stages of this competition. So Teresa, it's just job done for me. That's pretty much what it was, a professional performance by Australia. They do what they have to do, and they stay 2-0. But for Argentina, again, there's a lot to try and resolve if they're going to get into those playoff games.
Yeah, it's been positive one thing positive for Argentina was that their performance were increasing throughout this game, while the Australian was slightly decreasing, obviously due to rotation Coach Brondella has put on the court. Here we see, again, a couple of statistics. It's Australia undeniable. Liz Cambage, 24 points during 17 minutes on the court. She just dominates that inside space, and I was pleased to see the rest of the Australians as well to they perform, share the ball well, and loads of off-bench players got the minutes in this game against Argentina, so it could be quite useful in the later stages of the game. So yeah, what to say, Australia really played what they had to. They dominated the inside space, they dominated the glass. They had 25 assists, which is a great number of sharing the ball. So I'm very, very pleased to see one of the big nations of basketball to play and compete in this tournament.
The great thing for them would be that their perimeter numbers were better. You know, Whitcomb had a good game from the perimeter, and if you're gonna have a Liz Cambage inside doing the job she did, then you've got to have your perimeter players knock down shots, and they got a little bit better from that in today's game. Got support across the bench, but for me, that outside production has to be there if they're going to challenge some of the better teams in this competition. It's job one. I don't think we know much about them anymore. They just got the win they needed to get. Cambage was good. Everybody contributed, and when it comes to what they want is the first place in this group. So they'll play Turkey to ensure that they get the top spot. If they get the top spot, they go straight through. And then it's down, I think it's not Cambage, it's down to the other guys. It's down to how well they do from the perimeter. And if they do well from the perimeter, they have a chance. They have a chance to make it and will be a factor in this competition.
Yeah, and Cambage is going to perform all the time, or most of the time. She is a big quality player, and it comes to how much pressure her teammates can take off her shoulder while they will be hitting those outside shots and perform themselves individual as well. So definitely it comes to the other players of Australia team, how much they can perform in terms of the scoring and stretching out the floor and supporting Cambage offensively and defensively.
Well, that's pretty much it for game one on day two. Just get the final pictures of this Australian team as they leave the floor. And we're going to get a look at the group table, which will show you Australia with the 2-0 win. Argentina in a bad place, 0-2. They'll have that game against Nigeria that could decide who comes third and goes through to the playoffs. So there's still hope for them. They get a day off, time to reflect, time to improve. So we'll see you shortly for the second game, but for the moment from Teresa and I, it's goodbye from Tenerife.